So we're out here in the garage today because we're taking a look at a product from AMPXELL. It's a 12-volt lithium motorsports battery. Now there's a few reasons why you might want to upgrade to a lithium battery for your motorcycle. And one of those is weight. So this battery is still in the package, but it's super light compared to, say, a lead acid battery. And it has a better lifespan, and it can do more cycles of discharge and recharge. And actually the amount that can be discharged with a lithium battery, you can discharge it fully, recharge it without damaging the battery. Something like a lead acid battery or an AGM battery, you can only discharge to about 50%. You discharge it further than that, you potentially shorten the life of the battery. So let me open this box up, we'll get into the motorcycle and we'll do a little test. All right, so this is the box that the AMPXELL battery comes in. Open it up here. Inside, you're gonna have the user manual, how to install the 4 screws for the base plate, for changing the size, or actually the height of the battery depending on your application. Also comes with the screwdriver as well as the bolts for attaching your battery cables to the battery terminals on the battery itself. And then of course there's the battery itself. And here's the battery itself. Now, unique to this battery, and I don't know that I've ever seen this on a battery before, but it does have this little button on top. And you hit that power button, it tells you what the charge level is. Now, for my application in a motorcycle, I don't know how useful that is, but for, say, like a backup generator or something like that, they're using this as a starting battery, that's something that's going to be sitting for quite some time, that is pretty important. So let's get over to the motorcycle. Well, actually, you know what, before we do that, let's just get this opened up here. And what we can do is do a little comparison. Let me get the old battery out of the motorcycle here first before we install it. And compare this to a lead acid battery. Now we're over here at my motorcycle, and I've already disconnected the cables from the terminals. Now if you're wondering why weight is important in a battery, now one of the things that I run into on this motorcycle in particular is that trying to get a heavy battery out of this really tight space is actually quite a struggle. It would be a lot easier if this battery was lighter. It's actually quite a pain. Catches on the battery wires. It's just very tight and you don't have much to grab onto. And the battery is fairly heavy. Oh my goodness. All right, anyways, I'm just gonna stop this video right here and finish getting this out, and then we can compare the two. Okay, so we're back here at the workbench. I got my old Yuasa lead acid battery out of the motorcycle. Now, of note, these are supposed to be compatible. It certainly is the same width. But the height is quite a bit different. Even with the included spacer, definitely going to be shorter. We'll see if it'll work in this application, but for something saying that it's a direct fit and not being the same size, I don't like that. But let's compare these. First, let's start off with weight. And I think this is one of the biggest differences. Got a scale here. So this Yuasa lead acid battery tips the scales at 9 pounds 7 ounces. This 2 pounds 1 ounce. That is a huge difference. And I can't say enough about that. These lithium batteries are so light compared to lead acid batteries. Okay, so let's I'm gonna have to use this base plate here, so let's get this on. The other nice thing about lithium batteries, unlike these filled lead acid batteries, is you can tip them on the side. You're not really supposed to do that with these. They're supposed to stay upright because they're filled with acid, liquid acid. All right, so I got this base plate off. Essentially, there's 4 little screws. And what the heck, we'll use the include a little screwdriver too. Essentially all you do is you just line those holes in. It snaps. Actually has little pegs that makes it pretty easy to line up. So just put these screws in. Now, one of the other things I noticed about this battery while I'm putting these screws in here is that it has 4 terminals, which is actually kind of interesting. Over here, this UASA, you can mount the attachments sideways or on top of it, but there are only 2 terminals, whereas this says 4. Although I will say that these terminals on this battery are unidirectional. You can only attach the wires directly to the top of it. You can't attach it to the side like those. And the terminals on this just do not seem to be quite as beefy as the large lead terminals on the UASA. Now, UASA, I would have to say, is one of the best, if not the best, lead acid motorsports battery manufacturers, and I would highly recommend their batteries if you're going to go with a lead acid battery. But we're here taking a look at this lithium battery now. Got these screws in there tight. Awesome. So we got that piece on. And as you can see, like I said, definitely not an exact match. Okay, so we got that base on here. Let's check out the cold cranking amps. Now, this is supposedly rated at 360. This 10-pound UASA is really it's rated to 180. So theoretically, this lighter battery has more cold cranking amps. Well, let's put that to the test. I've got a battery tester here. Let's see if it meets the claimed specs. It is at 90% charge, not full charge, which honestly this UASA is probably about the same. Put these on the terminals. All right. So you got this. Let's do a check. Let's get this on a vehicle. And this, this doesn't have an actual lithium setting. Interesting. Well, I'll just test it like it's that. This says it's rated for 360 cold cranking amps. Let's see if it'll pass that test. It passes. Let's see if that UASA, which technically is only rated for 180, can pass that same test. Let's put the battery tester leads back on here. Go. Check. On a vehicle, regular flooded, cold cranking amps, 360. Let's check connection. Make sure these are really on there. Good. Let's try that again. Yeah. Charge and retest. Dang, it doesn't pass. So this little lightweight battery, more cold cranking amps than even this 10-pound UASA lead acid battery. Let's install this into the motorcycle. Let's see what it looks like. Even though it's a fair amount. I mean, it's probably a good inch shorter than this one. I don't know if maybe I just got sent the wrong base plate. It just needs a little bit taller base plate. That's how they kind of do these, is that it's the same size and the batteries are different heights, so they just give you a different base plate. But I don't know. I think I got the right one. Anyways, let's put this in the motorcycle, start it up, see how that goes. All right, we're over here at the motorcycle. Now this drops right in, and I mean, it fits in there pretty tight. It is definitely shorter than the stock battery, but let's see if that plays into this at all. See if that's even a problem. Now, I do have a couple of accessories that I attach to the battery as well. So let's make sure that this is going to have enough room to get in here. I'm going to go down here a little bit. Oh, that's already a problem. Because it sits too low, there's interference with the terminal surrounding. All right, that's on there. Okay. This is my battery tender hookup. Let's get that on there. All right. This is just another accessory. Question 2 is going to be, is this bolt going to be long enough to accommodate all these. Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. It would be a little bit easier if it was actually the height of the stock battery, but that gives you a little bit more space. That's cinched down nicely. All right, so that's on there good. Let's hook up the negative terminal now. And same thing. I've got accessories here that attach to that ground. Yeah, because this wire is so stiff. It wants to be up here where the old battery was. Get that in there. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. I really wish this came in at the stock height, and they do give you 4 terminal screws, which is nice. So you can attach them to all those terminals. So in theory, if you had accessories that you wanted to attach, it might be a little bit easier actually to attach those, because you don't have to go where the main terminals are, or the main cables, and then you can just attach them directly to the battery at a different spot. Okay, that's in there. That was a little bit annoying, but I guess there's extra space in there now. That battery is not going anywhere. All right, so that's in. Now let's start up the motorcycle and see how that goes. All right, moment of truth. Will it start? That starts up nice. Let's do that one more time. That started up really nice.